Hello again to everyone, and welcome back to this series, My Journey to God in a Secular World. This, I hope, is about the seventh video clip. And I wanted to add a few things that I thought maybe I forgot in the last video clip. That, when the Cardinal Bassetti invited the priest from Bergamo to tell all of us that we should bless sex outside of marriage, what came to my mind also is that we poor priests, who it's so difficult in this world today that is so far away from God and so far away from the Ten Commandments, we need a bishop that encourages us to continue to follow Christ with the cross and what God wants. Instead, he gives us a priest to say to compromise with the world, go along with the world, and we need encouragement. Instead, we get exact opposite by so many bishops today. And I also forgot to say that at the end of that meeting, Cardinal Bassetti, he came to my table for pranzo, and I was in the mood to speak bluntly. So when he came to my table the first time, he said to me, I said to him, I says, do you remember in the beginning of the year, or September 2016, when we began the year for the diocese with the priests to study Amoris Laetitia? And I said to him that after I listened to him at the beginning of that year as an introduction, I went home and I wrote an article after listening to him with the title, Forbidden to Speak About Sin. Because that's what he's basically saying. Priests should not offend anybody. You shouldn't speak about sin. That hurts people. And his response was, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. And when I go to these meetings, I record the audio. And so I have the exact words that were said. And so in this occasion, I took his exact words from Cardinal Bassetti that he said in that occasion, and I put it on YouTube. If you want to listen to it, it would be in Italian. Instead of forbidden to speak about sin, you can, if you go to that article, forbidden to speak about sin, it'll have reference to that YouTube that has the voice of Cardinal Bassetti on YouTube, exactly what he said in Italian. In Italian, it would be called Proibito di parlare del peccato. And then he came, and about half hour later, he came again to my table, and so this time I decided just to ask him straight out. I says, why did you take away my parish at Lisciano Nicone without speaking to me first? You didn't say anything to me. Why? There was about 10 seconds of silence, and after 10 seconds of silence, he says, oh, I don't remember. Coward. And another incident that I wanted to talk about here was in September 2014, in the parish of Perugia, there was a priest who committed suicide. And so Cardinal Bassetti put aside his program that he had planned to talk about this. And he let the priest speak. And several of the young priests wanted to indicate that maybe the bishop isn't close enough to the priest. At a certain point, I had the microphone for my intervention, and I said to all the priests present that were there, I said, and this is 2014, I says, dear brothers, when I began 14 years ago to spend at least 1 hour before the tabernacle every day, I never suffered again from being alone, solitude. And I said to at least 20 priests in the diocese in the years, I encouraged them to do the same, and all 20 priests said to me, I don't have time. I don't have time. And so I said to those priests in response, I said that if I do not spend at least an hour before the tabernacle every day, I end up giving to the people in my parish or whatever a poor priest named Father Joe instead of giving them Jesus Christ. They agree, but they don't do the holy hour. Because, you know, that's the way they're trained in seminary. There was a priest, there was a young man who found his vocation with a certain formation with holy sisters in our diocese. He entered the seminary, and he continued like the sisters. He even said to the sisters later, a few months later, the seminaries, they don't know anything about their faith. Just about nothing. Hey, nobody prays the rosary, nobody goes to the Eucharist, nothing. He says, you know, but within a year and a half after he entered the seminary, he totally changed. It was recounted one time that he went to spend time before the tabernacle, and the director of the seminary, or the spiritual director, said to him, "What are you doing here, wasting time here? You're not a monk. You're a diocesan priest. You're not supposed to waste time before the tabernacle. What are you doing?" Anyway, within a year and a half, he was totally against the sisters. He totally flip-flopped and criticized the sisters. He was totally brainwashed into the modern church. There was several years ago, so 2016, I think, or 15, there was our annual retreat for all the priests of the diocese. And there was also 2 other dioceses invited also. And the expert on liturgy for Perugia organized a liturgy. And what really hit me pretty hard was in the afternoon. It was a nice church where we went in Norcia. He put before the altar on the steps a cross without the corpse of Jesus Christ, and he had a light shine on that cross while you're supposed to do some kind of meditation. And behind the altar, and then in fondo, where the tabernacle is, totally in darkness. Totally in darkness. This is the new liturgy that they learned. This is the liturgy to take the focus off of Jesus and the Eucharist and put it in somewhere else, in the community or anywhere else, but take the focus off the Eucharist. Because the Freemasons, ecclesial Freemasons, have entered into the seminaries with the help of many bishops that are Masons, and have changed the theology. I'll talk about maybe this a little bit more later. I'd like maybe to just end with that famous dream of Don Bosco. Don Bosco, who said that the two columns. I went to Turin one time in the Salesian Church to see this dream in a huge painting in the church of this dream with a ship in the middle of a storm on the sea, and at the helm was a man in white, the Pope, and around there was ships shooting at this ship to sink it. And the man in white guided that ship between 2 columns. At the top of one was the Eucharist, and the other our Blessed Mother. We must stay very close to the Eucharist and Mary and confession in this period, this very, very difficult period. I end now this video clip, and we'll continue in the next video clip. May God bless you and Mary guide you.